Mate, full send. I got a little whiskey. Like, yeah, full send it, mood.
Nice. All right. Well, listen, look, it is an absolute pleasure to get to do this to you. It's great to speak to you under these very special circumstances. Not just, of course, to
Absolutely, bro.
talk defects and an incredible looking headline run at the end of this month,
For
October
sure,
into
bro. Yeah.
November, but of course to talk horror. I personally love
Oh,
getting the opportunity to do this. I don't get to do it enough. So before we get into things, though, I'm just
yeah,
going to
man.
check in really simply. How are you, and how is everyone in defects?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Super busy. Obviously it's tour month, so yeah, things are very hectic in our camp at the moment. A lot of yeah, as you can probably see, we're doing a lot of programming in terms of amps and rig builds and stuff like that. Set finalizing. Yeah, everyone's good. Everyone's on a wave, and everyone's really like gassed to be out on the road again, man.
Yeah, it's the Bloodline Tour beginning October 29th in Glasgow, hitting up Newcastle, Manchester, Leeds, London, Bristol, Oxford, and finishing on the 7th of November in Birmingham, with support coming from
Oh yeah,
Profiler and Knife Bridge. It's a hell of a tour,
it's
but
great, man. It's a really cool
let,
package.
it really bloody is. I love the tour poster as well. Fabulous looking
Yeah,
thing.
man.
Let's say, use me as an example. I've seen you guys live before. I've seen you guys perform. What can I expect from Defects this time around?
Oh, dude. Fuck. So yeah, we've got obviously like probably the biggest headline package we've taken out with Profiler and Knife Bride.
Hell yeah.
A couple of bigger venues. We got a really spicy little set list with a couple of surprises. Halloween show in Manchester is going to be fire. We've got a little competition on for that, for best dressed and yeah, or best undressed or undead or however they decide to come. Yeah, it's gonna be great, man. It's gonna be great.
So that's 100% confirmed for the 31st, the Manchester show. You're doing a sort of fancy dress costume thing.
We are, man. Yeah, yeah. I think everyone. I'm sort of set on mine. Um, Obviously, going '90s horror serial killer. I think some of the guys. I think Harry's got his dialed in actually.
Okay, keep
But
it a
the other,
surprise.
oh
Keep it a
mate, 100%.
surprise.
Yeah, yeah. I've not played a show in a mask before, so it's going to be Slipknot esque.
It's gonna be hot.
Yeah, it's going to be filth. To be honest.
Okay, cool. Aside from playing a show, which is a very cool thing to do on a Halloween night,
Yeah,
what
man.
would be your perfect Halloween night?
Dude, years ago, it'd be out partying for sure.
Uh,
Um, but now, man, I'm old and boring now. I just sit in here with my horror collection and watch horror films, I guess.
Something all on board about that. Obviously, everybody's turning up on Halloween night. It's like trying to go out on New Year's Eve night sometimes. It's better just to stay at home.
It's chaos, isn't it? It's chaos.
Yeah.
Definitely, if you hit up like town centres or main bars or anything, it is just anarchy almost, isn't it?
Yeah. Unless you've got a gig to go to, at least you know you're guaranteed
Well,
like
yeah,
this. And yeah,
that'd be a good one. Yeah, there you go. That's a good little selling point for it. Safe place for everyone to party and dress up.
have you ever been to a show on Halloween night?
I haven't, mate, and I think for quite a few of us, we haven't even ever played a show on Halloween. So it's a first for a few things, man. Yeah,
Oh, it's going to be incredible. It's a shame. I mean, it's great as a Manchester, but as a person in London, I can't help but be a bit jealous. Though, if you were, I already have a show to go to on the 31st, so
there
it would have
you
been a
go.
bit
You're
like,
set.
oh, yeah.
I'll see how I get on the 31st. I might. Are you coming to the London show? I might just rock the mask at least for one song, maybe.
Awesome. Okay, then.
Good for you,
Right,
mate.
let's. All right, it's Halloween, right? So you're kind of talking about being at home and you're chilling out and you're watching a
Yeah, man.
few movies. You're having a movie marathon, so to speak. So let's say it's five in a row, but with certain rules attached that I've kind of
Okay.
chosen. So we're going to
Okay.
go into this a little bit. So film number one, I want you to tell me what you'd be watching. A Stephen King adaptation. What are we watching?
Ooh.
Hmm.
A Stephen King.
Yeah.
You know what? It's not like man. You got the Mist, right?
Uh-huh.
The Mist's one. The Mist is
Hmm.
is pretty bokeh. But for like Stephen King lately, man, for me, got to be it. It chapter two. I really delved into that one. it's not too crazy scary though, right? It's just the vibe of it. It's got that modern Stranger Things vibe to it, hasn't it? But
Very.
yeah, oh, man, yeah, that's my street. That
How far back does your kind of like Stephen King adaptation go? Like, do you have a lot in the bank, so to speak, that you've seen or experienced or even read the books?
to be fair, I mean, no, not with them. I mean, anything if it's come up as a movie, I've probably seen it, yeah. But no, don't definitely not a reader, man. Not a reader.
Okay, film number two, a horror comedy.
Okay.
What are we watching?
Oh shit, or a comedy. Oh, maybe Terrifier.
Oh, I mean,
Maybe that.
mm,
Tucker, have you seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
that is not spoken about enough. Fabulous
Mate,
film.
what a fucking great film. Yeah. That if you're talking about that, like that's that's it on in the ballpark for a horror comedy, right?
Yeah, oh yes, absolutely. All right, film number three then, a slasher classic.
Oh man, that's my sort of ballpark there, right there. Oh, shit, man, only got to pick one.
Hmm.
Hmm. Scream, maybe. Scream. It's always a
Yeah,
safe bet.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. My, yeah, maybe Michael Myers though. That's anything Halloween. Like you got Freddy, right? Fuck, man. That's a tough one. That's a tough question. But yeah, no, you know what? I love Ghostface, and yeah, Scream's probably one for me.
Would you is Scream of the slasher franchises? Is Scream your favorite, effectively?
No, no.
No.
It's one of those. It's just a safe bet in it. You know what I mean? Like you can dive down. Like if you go into like Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff like that,
Mm.
there's so many different variables in those films. It's like it could be a piss take version, or it could be super intense and scary. Especially when I was younger, that was sort of the captivating element of it all. You know what I mean? But
Oh
yeah, I
yes.
think when I was younger, definitely all the films like say Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, all the Scream stuff, Hills Have Eyes and stuff like that. You know what
Mm.
I mean? That all that sort of 2005 era was banging.
It was. Okay, film number four, gore, gore, and more gore. What are we watching?
Oh shit!
You can't say Terrifier because you already said Terrifier,
I've
so
already
that's
said
out of it.
Terrifier. Fuck. Maybe. Oh, shit. That's tough. For one scene only, I
Mhm.
would say in when they sort of riot in his dream in Human Centipede 3. There's a
Oh
very
my.
horrible little scene in that's Achilles tendons and stab holes and weird things like that. Sort of that. Yeah, that's not the. That's going to make me look away.
Yeah, okay, no, I get it. I've only seen the third one once. I think that was enough. I think
Yeah,
that's enough, yeah.
it's enough. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised they even got to a third one with the whole concept of it.
Right. There you go.
So
Okay,
you're
and
going
the
to link
last one
up the
then.
whole prison.
Film number five, Ghosts and Spirits. What are we watching?
Ghost and spirits.
Hmm.
Fuck. Hmm. Maybe. Oh, fuck. Like 13 Ghosts. Do you remember that
Oh, all right. Are we talking the remake, or are we going all the way back to the original?
remake?
Yeah.
Remake,
Yes, I
mate. Yeah.
agree. It's visually quite arresting.
Yeah, yeah, mate. It's that's when you got people like all the fucking face peeling off and shit. It's that's the that's a good little one. I haven't watched it for a while. That's jog my memory for that one.
Oh yeah. Okay. Right. A love of horror, at least I think, seems to always stem back to childhood in some way. Watching experience in horror at an often inappropriately young age.
Absolutely,
Was
yeah.
was this the case for you then? And what are some of your earliest horror memories?
So yeah, I would say the earliest probably thing I remember, and I remember my dad not helping things at all was Aliens.
Hey.
So saying there was aliens under the bed. You remember the big fucking yellow mech suit thing, and then the outburst of them. That was one of my first. That and you'll like this Salem's Lot,
Oh,
the OG Salem's Lot.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. I remember we stayed up late one night to watch it because it was split on Channel 4 over 2 nights because it was quite long, wasn't it? The original.
Yeah.
I remember staying up for that and hiding under the fucking duvet on the sofa, mate. That was a classic.
You can remember what kind of feelings were invoked by watching that? Because of course it is
Oh,
ultimately a
mate,
film and it's
horrendous.
got a certain level of dullness, but obviously it's got
Yeah,
that the scare.
mate, 100%. That I think me and my brother must have been fucking hell. I think we weren't here. We hadn't moved to Wales at that point, and so that would have been like shit. We must have been about six, 5 and 6,
Mm.
maybe 7 at a push. So yeah, it was a bit of a rogue choice on my dad's part, but yeah, sort of yeah, mate, that was yeah, not the one.
You know those sort of like those early childhood feelings that you kind of remember now, like that level of like fear and fright that you had as a child.
Yeah.
Obviously, as you get older, that kind of disappears when you watch and experience more and more things like that. Have you ever tried
Mhm.
to find a way to kind of relive that almost childhood horror?
Yeah, right, mate, all the time, mate. It's you always I think with the horror the Hollywoodized horror, you know,
Mm.
the bigger budget ones, you think, oh, you know, it looks good and shit, and then you put it on and it's just there's not even a jump scare in it these days, is it? I don't know whether
Mm.
that's good, like you said, you've got older, and or it's the quality of the actual film.
Mm.
So yeah, I think trying to get that, I haven't found anything in a long time that's really done that.
That's a shame. I was kind of hoping I was going to ask, like, was there a good example that you could think of that's kind of in the modern day that's kind of got you a little bit?
I'd say more now. In
Hmm.
even if it's fake as fuck and the story's not real, it's obviously super far fetched. I think the one that's I like the ones that sort of make me think as opposed to over the gore and stuff like that. So when you have films like Talk to Me, and have you seen that? I thought that was an interesting take on it. That was pretty good. That was a sort of spiritual afterlife thing, and yeah, it
Yeah.
basically they hold this ornament's hand, do some like seancing, and then yeah, it just sort of if you don't open your eyes before the devil stays with you. So yeah, I thought that was quite an interesting take on it. That was quite good.
So at least something has come along that, like got your attention.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. I like it when that's what I'm saying. They're few and far between whenever you watch something like that. But then you get the occasional one. It's like, oh, you know what? Fair enough. Dave, our bassist, he recommends quite a lot of things I wouldn't normally go for. That long, have you seen Long Legs yet?
I've not seen it yet. No, I do want to
No,
though.
normally that's on my list. He comes out with some quite good ones. He's my sort of Wikipedia of modern horrors now.
Do you find yourself drawn to other areas of horror? So you said you're not much of a reader, but what about say from the
Mhm.
say video game side of things,
Oh
comics,
yeah, yeah,
things like
for sure.
that?
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely video games. That's been a staple through my whole life. I was just talking to one of my friends about that new Silent Hill 2 remake. Right? Have you
Hmm.
seen that? I'm quite
I've
tempted by that. That was quite fucking scary when I was a kid.
yeah, I mean it looks simply phenomenal. Haven't played it
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
Oh, right, again. So then kind of got diving into the childhood side. How far back do we go here in regards to horror video game side of things? What's an early memory you've got of playing a horror video game?
Resident Evil 3 Nemesis.
Ah, three. Wow.
Yeah, so I sort of skipped. So that was all like late night 98 or something like that.
Hmm.
So I got that, and then I worked backwards through them. So yeah, they've always been a staple in the games, and obviously they've remade them again over the last couple of years, haven't they? And
Hmm.
yeah, great playthrough. Short campaign, but you know what I mean. It's like visually aesthetic. It looks amazing, and the gameplay is mega. So yeah,
Do
them.
you,
What else have you got? Dead Space. Have you played that? Isn't that?
hmm. Oh
That's
yeah.
that's on the list at the moment. And you got Last of Us and stuff, but that's more, I guess, like obviously you got the infected sort of thing of it, but yeah, that's more story driven now, isn't it?
drama mixed with horror, really, isn't it? It's not nothing, you know.
Not a bad thing at all. Yeah,
Well, as you said yourself, you want to think about things. You want a little bit more story than just over the top gore.
yeah, absolutely. Man.
Is there anything that you've seen sort of coming out over the next couple of months that you're particularly interested in?
I haven't clocked anything, mate. To be honest, I
Mm.
think, like I was saying, I think in terms of games, that Silent Hill remake's definitely on the cards. Um, and I'm just literally finishing off Callisto Protocol. But in terms of films, I haven't. I sort of I'll catch them when I can. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
it's very busy these days. But yeah,
it's that, isn't it? You're busy. I'm busy. We all busy. We just don't. You don't have enough time to sometimes just sit there and spend even an hour and a half watching a film.
absolutely.
It's infuriating.
It is. It's wild, mate. Try and make that time Friday, Saturday night, but the rest of it, I'm in here, and it's grind time. Whether we're doing new music or fucking programming these things, you know what I mean? It's very hectic at the moment. Maybe Christmas, I'll have a binge of things I haven't seen this year.
It's too early for us to talk about it. Otherwise, I'd love to get into the Christmas horror thing. But I do want to talk about this particular type of horror because obviously, as a youngster and as you're
Hmm.
growing up and you start to get more interested in that side of things, did you find there was a particular type, a genre, if you want, or just a style that you were attracted to?
Yeah, yes. So I was on that sort of. So what we'd have here, we used to have a little video shop down here. You remember, like like Independence,
Mm.
and we used to have to go in and call up, call out our mom to let us have a 15 when we were like 12 or something, and then we get a little bit older and call up again and, oh yeah, go on, Pam, will you give us an 18 this weekend? You know what I mean? So
Mm.
that was like part of the love of it as well. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, if you got like an 18, you're like, oh shit, yeah. So I think like the main time for me was like from 13 onwards. So you had that big influx of films, like I was saying, like you had Wrong Turn, uh, what was it, Hills Have Eyes, House of Wax, all of
Oh,
that
yes.
sort of stuff, Jeepers Creepers, like all that kind of stuff. There was just a massive influx of really like consistent horror. And I think that died out like sort of, I'd say from 15 onwards, really, didn't it? But then there was I think actually it'd say 2015. There was the Australian horrors. Have you ever watched any of those?
Oh, yeah, I've seen a fair few of them. Yeah.
Yeah, like Lake Mungo and stuff like that. Have you
Yeah,
seen
like
that?
Wolf Creek and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, yeah, that sort of stuff. Yeah, I mean that's
Mm.
quite far fetched. The second one, isn't it? When he's chopping all sorts of bits off. But
It's a bit all over the place, yes.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, man, there was always that. I guess it was Hollywoodized a little bit. You know what I mean? But the consistency was there with those films.
How dull did your tastes evolve as you got older, you know? So those early days of childhood, you're wowed by the frightening stuff you see on the screen. As you get older, you start to pay more attention to stories and maybe more nuances.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's the thing. When once that, unless you're going to look at and start watching stuff which is almost like trashier, like I was saying, I was like about Terrifier and stuff like that,
Mhm.
which is just pure chaos, isn't it? Unless you want to
Yeah.
watch that, I think it's like, yeah, as you say, your taste will evolve, but then you're looking for different things amongst those films, aren't you? So like, when you end up with the drama or the story driven into the horror, but sometimes they get it right, sometimes they don't they?
Hmm. Do you still find the same level of enjoyment these days from horror that you did perhaps a few years, but not like, yeah, when you were like a little bit younger?
In terms of like the newer films or watching
Well,
the.
just in general, like so, whether it be even the horror experience, sometimes that can just be the vibe, and you're setting yourself up to watch a film, and you're getting stuff in the mind frame, or you're playing a game. The
Yeah,
level of
yeah.
enjoyment you get now as an adult, like growing up, compared to as a child.
Sometimes
Mm.
you get a diamond in the rough now for me. You know what I mean? It's like I'm still of the ilk of all the old classics. You know what I mean? I'll sit down and I'll still get that same buzz as watching all those like 90s and slasher films and stuff like that. But yeah, like if there's like a film, I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to sit down and watch that, and I'll sit in here and pump it on. But yeah, it's really hard to get gassed up for it because 9 times out of 10 you're firing yourself up for a little bit of disappointment, especially
Mm.
like it's not been as good in recent years. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I said, it depends on subgenre of horror, I guess, don't it?
Well, yeah, I mean,
What we're into.
you can be as open-minded as you want to, but it's always a risk. If you're going to dedicate, say, an hour and a half, 2 hours to a film you've never seen before, it often
Yeah,
sometimes feels like it is a waste of time. You talked about
for
getting
sure.
recommendations from family members, band members, and stuff like that. But are you
Yeah,
good
yeah.
at listening to those recommendations? And what I mean by that is, if someone says to you, "Hey, this film's really good and you should check it out," do you go, "Oh, well, I will then because they say it's good," or are you a little bit wary regardless?
No, no. To be fair, like Dave's pretty. Yeah, he's my sort of guy. Like I'm saying, he's sort of modern day Wikipedia. So he'll just stick a film on whilst he's working. You know what I mean? But you know what, mate? You check that out. I think you're really going to like that. And yeah, I do see it through. You know what I mean? It's just like if I've got some app on, I shouldn't really say that, but yeah, if it comes up and it's there and I'm like, burnt, yeah, let's go. Stick it
Banging.
on the TV. And yeah, and yeah, I will listen on it, mate, because it's yeah, like I said, it's like few and far between nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. How did the fascination with horror though develop into an interest in collecting memorabilia? Because that is a whole different beast.
It is, yeah. So that was, I remember. So initially, when I started getting bits like that, it was it was the music stuff to start with, because obviously that was, you get all like the McFarlane stuff. They would have like a big range of all like, fucking Guns N' Roses, and I've got a Motley Crue piece in there and stuff like that. And I always remember walking down a little arcade in Warsaw in the Midlands, and they had this really long shop in there. And I walked in, it was just like fuck me, and it was just like captivating, mate. There was everything, like stuff I've never seen again. You know what I mean? And it was like looking back at it, I should have bloody bought loads more of it. But yeah, that was sort of my teens. I'd collected all sorts of bits like that, and then it was only when I bought a house, done the garage out, and I was like, you know what? I've got all that shit in my parents' attic. I was like, let's go and have a look. And then that was about 4 or 5 years ago, and yeah, I've just started again with it because it's just cool little bits, and it's loads of like new stuff. It's not the same as the McFarlane stuff. You got Necker and stuff like that
Yeah.
now, and which is great, which is great. But yeah, I've
What
just sort of fucking picked it up again.
But that's old, the older stuff. It still exists in theory, a lot of it out there. It's just simply about finding. I remember,
Yeah.
and we're going back a few years ago, I went to a comic book convention and I was walking around and
Mhm.
walking around, and I stopped past a small stall, and up the very top, right at the top where you literally had the crane look to me, had like a full size, not full size, but a model probably about that big of Dr. Shanard from Hellraiser 2. Like a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
massive thing, like for £300. I'd never seen it before. You just almost stumble across this stuff.
It's mad, isn't it? It's mad. Like you said, it is out there, and it's like there's a lot of pieces that I didn't get that I should have got, because like I'm talking like these dioramas. I don't know if you ever remember it. There was like a Jaws one at the boat, and it was just on the boat, and yeah,
Of
yeah. You remember? Have you
course.
seen? You see that?
Yes.
So there was that, and it was. I was just like, I was never like a massive Jaws fan at the time, and I was like, if I was a bit anal about something, I'd have to have a piece for it. So I was just, oh yeah, Jaws is all right. It's just a fucking shark, though, isn't it? But then I looked at the pieces, I saw it on Marketplace, and I was like, fuck, man, I really should have got that. And then it was like 40 quid back then. Like we're talking over 20 years ago, it was like 40 quid, and now it's like
Yeah.
nearly a grand. And it's like, fuck. So many of them, like Freddie and Jason on a dock,
Oh, of
that was,
course, yeah.
yeah, there was that piece. But I was like, I've already got a Freddie and Jason, I don't need another two. Yeah, it was weird. It was weird, man. There's a lot of regrets in my from my now youth.
And it's an expensive hobby too, as well. Let's not act like a lot of the
Absolutely.
stuff is cheap.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, now you're sort of looking base level anything as a decent collectibles like 50 quid in it, like minimum on anything. Like even the tankards I've got, like some of them are like 100 quid, and it's just like it's a fucking ornament, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like, wild.
I mean, yeah, when you break it down like that, but then everything, I mean, like you could use that, you could apply that to anything, a piece of
Yeah,
vinyl, an
yeah.
important piece of vinyl and stuff like
Oh,
that. It's
mate,
just a
absolutely.
record.
Yeah,
It means
absolutely,
something
man.
to you.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, innit? You don't really care. I don't do it, 2, 3 times a year. I'll see something. I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? That'll go in the cabinet, like.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm not like on it every day.
Do you remember what the first ever thing you bought was?
Yeah, man. I'm pretty sure it was one of them big fucking 18-inch Freddy's. I don't know if you can see it up there
Yeah.
on the
Oh,
top
damn.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it was those. But then I could literally look at them and it's like, no, I can tell a lie. It was a Jimi Hendrix. It was a Jimi Hendrix Woodstock, and then it was Then Christmas. Me and my brother got those. I got the Jason. He got the Freddy. But he doesn't. He doesn't care about them anymore. So he's just like, stick them in your fucking garage.
Oh, bang.
I'm like, sick
Of
man. I
all,
needed a pair.
of all the pieces you own, then, which one
Yeah,
do you find you show off the most? Like, not necessarily the one you're proudest of, but one that you're like, oh, this is one I would show to people.
they're all pretty sick in their own way. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So if I was to break it down, like the music one, the Motley Crue set is a big one, and then the Predator stuff's really good, and all the slashers are really like the detail on them's really nice. So yeah, so that's probably my favourites now. But it changes every week. You know what I mean? Sit down and play some games, and I'm like, oh yeah, I like that one now.
Create an item of memorabilia for me. So basically, something doesn't exist, something, a film or whatever that you would absolutely love to get a piece of memorabilia for. Give me something. What would you create?
For any film?
Yeah, anything that you would buy if it was on sale.
Oh shit, man! I mean, I've been thinking about it for a while, and I would kind of want a. There's a big fucking Pennywise bust, and it's about this big, like a full shoulder length, shoulder size, cutting from there. Been looking at that, but I do want to. Fuck it, what was it? The exoskeleton of the Terminator, full size.
Oh,
Have you seen that?
nice.
Just up the corner. But it's like 7 foot in it, so it's just having the space and 10 grand spare.
The little things, right?
Mm-hmm. That's what I said to Lee when I was talking to him about it, and I was just like, yeah, I kind of need to extend this side is studio, that side's chill, so I kind of need to extend it that way and get more toys in.
Yeah, and sell a couple billion records as well. That would
Well,
be
yeah,
really
that
useful.
would help. That would help. So if by the album 3 you see me cutting about in a Lambo with this exoskeleton in the passenger seat, we've done it.
Yeah, you've made it. There's success. What
Absolutely, man.
about tats? You got anything horror related in your tats?
You know what? So everything up top is all life and some defects and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I've started it, unintentionally started it. So yeah, this sleeve will be this leg sleeve will be a bloody horror. So I've got a Freddy there.
Holy shit,
Yeah,
that's incredible. Look at the detail on that. That's
yeah,
brilliant.
yeah. So that one's there. I'm going to get a big Jason down the other side, and then fit them all in on that sleeve, and then the other leg I want to do like video games and stuff like that.
Your tattooist, that is an incredible level of detail on that face. What an incredible
Mate,
tattooist.
we did that. He just needed some skin for his first convention. Yeah, so we just went and did that. 8 hours, I think. Did all of it in 8 hours. It was hell, but it was a good day out.
Worth it now.
Oh yeah, fully, mate. Yeah,
But then
fully.
you're covered. You know what I mean? I can see you're covered, so you know what the tattoo bug is.
Yeah, oh mate, I'm nowhere near stopped. Nowhere near stopped. As soon as I've got the back of this in, next for sure. Next album cycle, I'll have my neck done. Harry's just got his head done, so it's like me and him are in a little bit of competition now.
God damn. Oh my God. That's a brave one.
He's a little bad boy, he is.
How about kind of bringing it back to the music side of things then?
Mm-hmm.
How about soundtracks and scores? What are some of your favorite kind of horror soundtracks and scores?
Oh man, fuck! You got the iconic ones, haven't you? Exorcist is memorable. It's anything that's memorable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got for standouts for me. It'd be that and the Halloween theme tune. And I don't know if you know if Orbit Culture, but they covered that and made a death metal version of it. It just rips.
I remember hearing that. God, that was quite recent in the last couple of years, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That's a pinnacle. I was trying to say to the guys, I was like, oh, can we come on to this for the Halloween show or something? And it's just I don't know whether we'll do it yet, but I kind of want to change the intro specifically for that show.
Isn't it funny you say that? Because my next question was going to be about a cover, an iconic song associated with horror that Defects could give the cover treatment to. What would you do?
Oh, fuck, man. A horror song, shit, man. I mean, Iceland Kills have got that shit down.
They do, admittedly, yeah. They've kind of cornered that market now.
Mate, it's so good. They're great lads as well. They're really nice dudes. Shit. I don't know. We were actually talking about this, but in terms of time, it might be a little bit shy. We were thinking about doing like a heavy version of Thriller or something like that. Yeah, easy, generic, but everybody knows it, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you can make it a lot of fun as well, and force yourselves to get your dance moves down for that. Can you do it?
Mate,
Can you do it?
Maybe. Let me see how long these fucking amplifiers take to program, and if you come and see us, we might just throw it in again on the London one.
All right, speaking about the tour as well, then you have infinite fun. So money is not an object here, and it is a Halloween costume pie as it will be on the 31st. So you can spend as much as you want on a costume. What would you do?
Oh, dude, as much as I want it. Fuck. Yeah, you can't really. Yeah, you've got to go a little bit extra than standard 90s slashers, right?
Full makeup artist, that kind of thing.
Oh, fully like that shit. Oh man, you got good questions, man. I'll give you that. You got really good questions. Fuck. What would I do? Maybe right. I've got it. I would have. Is it the Kessler Wolf of American Werewolf in London?
Oh, wow.
But I would be normal for half the set, and then it would do the animatronics change mid set. That's what I would do. But that probably didn't cost a lot back in the day, did it?
No, and when you get the money, why the hell not?
Yeah, something wild like that.
It's still considered a pinnacle of werewolf effects as well, and it probably didn't cost anything.
Yeah, it's even now it's like, you know what, it actually fairly stands up. You know what I mean? It's fucking great film.
Yeah, well, I don't have a lot of love for werewolf movies overall because they tend to be quite crap. But like that, and maybe Dog Soldiers. Have you seen Dog Soldiers?
Oh, banger!
Probably one of the best.
Banger.
Yeah,
mate. Yeah, 100%. Come and have a go if you think you're hard enough, mate.
It's such a British.
Mate, what was his name? I can't remember his fucking character's name. He's great.
No, it's been a while since I've watched that. It's probably due a rewatch.
It is, yeah. Did you watch Wilderness after that? I was kind of hoping that was going to be another werewolf. It was just a similar vibe with half the cast, but yeah, that was kind of a slasher, a British slasher film.
No, I don't think I've ever seen that. Not that I can remember, or it left no impression.
Yeah, for sure. Either or, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. The fast, bloody, and brutal round. Here are some fast-paced questions. So don't think about them too hard and see what we come up with. Right. A film that defines the word horror is?
Fuck, man. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah. Brilliant. Outstanding. The most famous person from the world of horror that you've ever met?
Oh, fuck, I haven't met anybody.
Okay.
I know Lee Gill from the Joker, but I don't think he's done any horror. Yeah, got me on that one.
No worries. Who defines the term Scream Queen, in your opinion?
Scream Queen. I can't even think of the fucking film. Overthinking it. Next one. Come back to that.
Yeah, the one item of memorabilia you own, right, that you might have just a little bit of buyer's remorse about.
Gene Simmons.
Okay, right. Was twist that around. The item of memorabilia that basically you think is a steal, like you stole from someone effectively.
Man, fuck. The Freddy up there, because that was my brother's basically. Or the
There it
Leatherface.
is.
I don't think he knows the Leatherface is in here. So maybe, unless he watches it and then he'll be round.
All right, the horror film that you think you've seen the most.
Probably Friday the 13th.
Yeah?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I used to binge that.
Yeah, okay.
He used to binge that.
What about the most overrated horror film? What is it?
Hmm. Fuck. Hmm. There's a fucking few, though, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, that's the thing.
There's a few. Um. Oh shit! But what if I say something that you're going to really like?
That's the joy, right? Everyone's got
Yeah.
different tastes.
I'm looking around. I don't know why I'd have anything in here. Um. Oh, maybe the Resident Evil films.
The Mila Jovovich action ones, yeah? Yeah, I mean, that's completely fair. They made a ton of money, though.
They made it, but I'm maybe leaning more towards the most recent live action one.
Oh, Welcome to Raccoon City. That
Yeah.
one.
There was a lot of hype with that, and I was just a bit like,
I thought that film absolutely sucked. So,
yeah, that's all right then. Yeah, we'll give that one the award for that.
okay, the film that left you feeling a little queasy. This might be a bit hard because I imagine you got a strong stomach for gore.
Yeah. You know what?
Mm.
I would say for the premise of it, Human Centipede 2, that I'm not a fan of them, but I've just watched them and it out of interest, and it's like, you know what? The first one was kind of a bit more surgical and a bit more thought out, but then the second one, it's just some fan of the film doing it with a fucking stapler. So yeah, that was fucking grim.
I think you and I have had a very similar path with that particular series of films because what you've just described there
Yeah,
is how I kind of approached it as well. And I'm
yeah,
shaking my head because all I'm thinking is, oh yeah, and there's a scene in that where she steps on her recently birthed baby's head in the car. Like this stuff is
mate,
just
it's
nonsense.
so fucked. It's so fucked. Yeah, it's way too far. I mean, there's that other film, isn't there? The Serbian film. I don't think I've ever watched that through.
Yeah, I've never watched it either. Well, I've
I've
never even
heard
seen it.
that.
I've never even watched a bit of it.
Yeah, I've heard a few scenes from it, and I'm like, why the fuck would you watch that? Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm all up
kind of.
for Terrifier and stuff like that, which is just pretty mad. But apparently, the third one's got some pretty questionable fucking ideas in it.
Oh, we shall
We'll
see.
find out.
I always get a little nervous when I hear stories about people fainting in cinemas and things like that
Yeah,
because
that's
I'm a
bullshit.
little bit dubious.
Yeah, that's bullshit, mate. That's fucking press. That's press 101. That.
There it is. The smartest horror film. What is that?
Oh man, fuck.
Mm.
Shit, man. Hmm. Man, fuck. These are really fucking tough questions, man. For a blind fire. Shit. Oh,
Do
fuck, man.
you? How do you feel about? I'm just trying to think because I'm actually now having a little thought process about this one as well.
Yeah.
People, right? A common sort of theme is that the Ari Aster movies, things like Midsommar
Oh
and
yeah, yeah.
and the other one, I can't remember what it's called. Damn, what's it called? The one with the little girl who gets her head knocked off and all of that. People tend
Oh,
to talk about them as their hereditary.
hereditary. Yeah, actually, you know what? That's quite there.
Yeah, because that
That's
tends to be what a lot of
I
people
was
refer
literally
to these
thinking about that
days.
on the last fucking question. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because I'm trying to think what I would actually answer to what smart. Smart's a weird word. Yeah, perhaps let's ignore that one. I don't
Well,
think I
you mean
wrote a
like
very good
well
question
thought
there.
out?
Yeah, I guess maybe. I can apply to anything.
I mean,
Let's move
yeah,
on.
for the sake of moving on, I'll give it to Hereditary because that
There
was
we
pretty
go.
cool. Yeah, there we go. We'll give it that.
What about then a great remake slash reimagining of a classic? Because obviously it's been a fair few.
Shit, man. Like probably two that stand out for me. Dawn of the Dead remake.
Ooh.
I love that. And the well, it would have been probably 2003, Texas Chainsaw. That was a
That's an
good remake.
interesting one.
Yeah, yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The later one was all right, to be fair, but that was just a yeah,
It's been so
bit
many. I'm
far
trying to
fetched.
the later one.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, the most
when
recent
he, yeah,
one.
he goes ham on the fucking party bus with the chainsaw.
That's it. There it is.
Yeah,
A great shout with Dawn of the Dead, though. I think that's almost forgotten about these days again.
mate. Yeah, oh mate, it was fucking banging. That was.
Hmm.
That holds up even to this day. To be fair.
Yeah, I think so. I think again, that one might be due a rewatch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what
Halloween
about
was
I
good.
asked you the most overrated horror film. What about the most underrated film? Do you think you have one?
Underrated. Underrated. Fuck man. Hmm. It depends. That depends, man. That
Mm,
kind of depends because yeah, I don't sort of go off like I try not to go off the critics. You know what I mean? A lot
of
like we were saying
course.
before. So it's like it's if because there's so many times I've watched a film and it's like oh it's shit and I've really enjoyed it.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean
That's
yeah,
it. You know what? I love that answer because my God, it was
yeah.
no true. There's a movie called The Night Eats the World. It's an adaptation of a French novel. It's about zombies in Paris and stuff like that. It's a very
Oh,
slow
so
burn.
is that just the one guy
The
in
apartment
the
building.
apartment block? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Anyway, most reviews online and critics and all that hate it, say it's boring and all that. It is
yeah.
probably up there as one of my all-time favorite zombie movies. I love it. So, like I said, you can't like that's my like it's so different to the general
This is the
opinion
thing,
that like
man.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Fuck the critics with that, man. If you enjoy it, don't you?
that's it. That's it. Oh, you mentioned Resident Evil, right, as being like
Hmm.
so video game horror adaptations.
Yeah.
Do you what's a good one though? Do you can you think of a good video game horror adaptation that was good?
Silent Hill was okay. That was visually that was quite good. I
Cool, cool,
thought
cool. Yeah,
I mean it's yeah, I guess it's a little bit more of a series, but The Last of Us, I think they nailed it quite well.
yeah.
And the second
Good
season,
shouts.
if the game's anything to go by, that'll be fucking interesting.
They're totally going to change bits of it. They're going to have to because they want, they're going
Yeah,
to have to.
yeah.
Um,
I think they were on about dragging it into two, like a two-parter to milk
yes.
you milk the money out. But yeah, but Doom was a good laugh. Do you remember that?
Yeah, the Carl Urban, Dwayne The Rock Johnson one,
Yeah,
yeah?
yeah, 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 yeah. When they
It's a good
whipped it
laugh,
out,
as they say, good laugh.
yeah, the first person fucking section was mega.
Yeah, that's like the best part of that film.
Yeah, 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 mega, mate. Really enjoyed
Well,
that one.
the last little section is an either or. So I've basically chosen a couple of different things, put them up against each other, and which side do you fall on? So, Blair Witch Project or Paranormal Activity?
Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think that, to be fair, yeah, I forgot about that film to be honest, but that got me more than Blair Witch because I've sort of
Yeah.
yeah, that was I sort of skimmed over Blair Witch when I was younger, but then watched it back. Obviously, it's a great film, but yeah, for me, Paranormal Activity, especially as the story develops, like you'll skip a film and then it'll be back to back to the first one or the same character from the first one. It all leads
Mm.
up to that bit where in the fourth film, I think, when they push the door open and there's just a cult of them.
Oh, yes, 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 yeah.
Yeah, or maybe the third one. Yeah, that was yeah for me. That's yeah. So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that a lot.
Fabulous. Good to hear. Okay. Halloween or Friday the 13th, but it must include all the sequels. So you can't just get away with the first films. It's all the Halloween movies or all the Friday the 13th movies.
That's a tough one because I loved all. Probably like the first three. Oh shit! No, hold on. I'm gonna say Halloween, mate.
Mm,
I'm gonna say Halloween because I've really enjoyed that last trilogy that they've done.
okay.
I've really enjoyed it. I know the third one was a little bit weak. The second one was great. First and second are great. The Rob Zombie one's okay, semi questionable. But then you've got the classics. But oh, fuck, man. Oh, man, you're making me think about it now because, oh, fuck. Does that include Freddy versus Jason?
I don't know. Oh, what do you consider that more of a nightmare film I consider more of a Nightmare on Elm Street film than a Friday the 13th, you know? I think I just do in my head. I'm probably wrong, but I just feel like I do.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, what I mean by that is if we're going to include the Friday the 13th films,
Well, it's got
does that?
to.
It's
Because
got to
it's
include.
yeah, it's got to,
You've
right?
got Jason X, which is super questionable.
But it's super fun.
It's
He's in
fucking
space.
great though. Yeah, shit, man, tough one, tough one. I love them both equally, but I'll stick with my answer, man. I'll stick with my answer. I'll stick Halloween.
Well, this next one, I feel like you already answered very early on in this chat. Original It or remake It?
Oh, fuck, man. I'm gonna say remake.
Yeah,
Yeah, obviously OG's great. OG's great.
it's got
But
style.
yeah, yeah. That's it, man. I think because I'd say that because of the time frame of it being, it's got that Stranger Things element to it, hasn't it? You know what I mean? The remake,
Yeah.
not in terms of like the paranormal, but that style, it's the cinematography style. That's yeah. I love them two films. I'll back to back them any day, mate.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. All right, The Purge. So The Purge world, the films, the
Yeah,
show, all
yeah,
of that stuff.
yeah.
Good or bad?
Fucking sick.
Yeah.
Love it.
You're a
Fucking love the
fan.
Purge. I love the Purge, mate. Every fucking one of them's great. Even the
Why do
series,
you
to be fair.
right? You've seen the series?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Is there two? There's two. There was two, wasn't there?
2 seasons,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, mate. Why the fuck they killed that? That was great.
This is awesome. So
Yeah,
I don't like the Purge films. I think they're nonsensical. But the freaking show, for some
yeah,
reason, the freaking show I thought was brilliant. The second
mate. It
season
was
was
great.
one of the best things I'd ever seen from
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Purge stuff. And then they
mate.
cancelled it.
Fully. I know. I don't know why. I've been waiting for fucking years. I've just been afraid to Google it to whether they've actually shelved it.
Right, it's done. All right. Rob Zombie,
Mm-hmm.
one hit wonder or genuine visionary? And we're talking about his films only here, not
Films
music from
only.
Zombie. Yeah.
Okay. I've never had a problem with them. I've always
Yeah.
thought they're very different, aren't they? They're very if Rob Zombie does a film, it's fucking Rob Zombie. Like, but everything like how was it House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, fuck yeah, yeah, it's dirty. He's got a
Yeah.
dirty vibe in every one of them films, and yeah, mate, you know what? I'm in his corner. I'm in his corner.
Have you seen The Monsters?
No, I don't think I have actually.
Mm. That's different. There's a Rob Zombie that's different. Less because obviously it's more what's the word? It's not horror. It's for a younger kind of audience thing. It's the
Yeah,
monsters after all. So like check
yeah,
that out. Obviously it's not a horror film or anything like that, but check that out and just to see him do something different.
something
You
different.
know?
Yeah.
Mm.
What's your thoughts on him?
Um, I think he's I don't want to say because it's so kind of House of Thousand Corpses and Devil Rejects are two
Yeah,
really visionary, really clever, really thing.
yeah, yeah,
I saw him fall into what I thought was a trap, which was basically doing the same thing over and over again.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't
Sure.
like what he did with Halloween's, and he made a
Mm.
film called 31. You know,
Yeah,
31.
yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
I hated it. I mean, and I thought,
yeah.
my God, this is just the same thing over and over again. And I was kind of
That was
desperate. Oh,
the game show one, right?
that's right. Yeah, and there was
Yeah, yeah.
the Salem one. Oh, I can't remember the title of it, but it was really dull as
Lord of Salem or something. Yeah.
yeah. I thought he lost that spark that he had, and I've been kind of
Yeah,
hoping he'll
yeah.
get it back at some point.
There was another Devil's Rejects, wasn't there?
Oh, of course there was Three from Hell, and I didn't like it.
Straight from Hell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay, a couple more then. The Evil Dead or Evil Dead 2. Of course, two quite different films.
for sure. Which one am I picking?
Mm.
Fuck. I'm just trying to remember which one was the fucking chainsaw arm.
Well, so the first one is the horror
Where when he
horror, and the
gets it.
second one is the comedy horror with the chainsaw
Oh,
and all of that. Yeah,
kind of say, yeah, two. That's my biggest memories as a kid with Evil Dead.
the comedy stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Like, do you have a strong like? Did you see Army of Darkness as well around that time, the third one?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
so
that
that
got very fucking supernatural, didn't it? With
very
the
silly.
crazy armor and shit.
It's weird how that kind of sticks out in your memories, like as the childhood. I guess just the enjoyment of the comedy more than anything else.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, mate. What did you think of the remakes, the most recent ones?
Oh, I thought they were fabulous. I thought they
Yeah,
were
fucking
really,
brilliant,
really
man.
good stuff.
Yeah.
The Evil Dead Rise, the most recent one, I think that's absolutely brilliant.
Taking that back to you asking me earlier about did something now really fucking mess with you? That when she's fucking on the ceiling and when her aesthetics were perfect for making you uncomfortable for an hour and a half.
Yeah, yeah, we're both in agreement in that. It's great when it
Yeah,
just jumps to mind like that.
yeah, yeah, fully.
Okay, so I do find this kind of fun where like I clearly we didn't talk beforehand. I didn't plan these
Yeah.
questions out knowing anything, but this next one is specifically slasher based and of a certain era. So
Okay.
it's out of three. Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, or Urban Legend.
Oh, I know what you did. The last summer was great.
Hmm.
For me, Scream.
Where does that end? I mean, are we talking all the way through the franchise up to where we are now with Scream?
No, one, two, three, maybe. The
Ah,
first three.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because they all sort of end up being a little bit of a blur, don't they? How many is there? Like seven or something, like of the original. I
So
can't remember now.
I think there's definitely four of like the
No, there's four. Sorry,
original
there's four.
stuff.
Yeah,
And then there's what,
and
been
then
two new ones or three? Two or three?
three. There's three. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that really because I didn't have a Ghostface piece before, and watching those films, I was like, "Fuck man, I need one of them." So yeah, for me on that screen, yeah,
Not horror related, but I have to ask because obviously you are of a certain age. Scary movie fan or not?
yeah,
Of
yeah.
course.
Apart from when we were out on tour with Orbit Culture this February, just gone,
Mm.
we had a fucking few. Well, we had a day off in Hamburg. Went out for a few beers. Just got a little bit too lean, and I basically fell asleep on my arm in the bunk, and it was dead. It literally just like it was paralysed for like 4 weeks after. Pretty scary shit. But yeah, I stayed on the tour, and Jack's our front of house guy. He put Scary Movie 2 with the guy with the funky hand.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so my hand was like this because
Yeah.
I couldn't raise it, and yeah, there was just us and Orbit Culture in the back lounge on the bus, and as soon as that guy came out with the fucking turkey, they're all looking at me laughing. So yeah,
It writes itself.
I loved Scary Movie until that moment. Yeah.
Yeah, that's now stuck, right? You're never going to be able to watch that film and not see and hear that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, mate, it's embedded a new memory later on in life for me.
Still finding new memories. All right, last but not least, then,
Absolutely.
an iconic villain. So there are obviously quite a few iconic villains. You've got one tatted on your leg at the moment as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So, of all those iconic villains, who is the one that you take the most serious, but also on the flip side, one that you can't take seriously for whatever reason?
Right. So depending, right, and this is
Ooh.
down to the wardrobe department because throughout the years, Michael Myers has had some questionable masks, hasn't he? You know what I mean? Like sometimes they're absolutely slaying, sometimes they're dog shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say Michael Myers, man, because he is just this fucking giant force that don't say nothing, can't really see, you can't read anything out of him, and he just comes for you, doesn't he? But yeah, I think that when he got that burnt mask in the in Halloween, was it Halloween Kills? Yeah, Halloween
Yeah.
Kills in the later one. That's when it's like fucking hell. All right, then.
Yeah, good shout on the difference in masks. Weirdly, that's
Mm-hmm.
actually a thing I think Rob Zombie's Halloween films did really well. Like the battered up mask that he has in that looks pretty damn cool.
Yeah, yeah, fully, mate. Yeah,
But yeah,
Jason's had some questionable ones as well.
yeah, when you hit those, you know what it is? When you kind of hit those middle of those franchises where it's like Friday the 13th, 4 or 5, that's when things got really cheap, it seemed. And the same with the
Yeah,
Halloween
that's it. Yeah,
movies.
yeah, like Jason Goes to New York or whatever, and it's yeah, yeah,
Jason's Holiday in New York.
yeah. Just let him out of the lake for a fucking weekend.
We could talk
Yeah, I
about
think
this all night long, I
that became a
feel.
little B movie. You want, mate?
I feel like we could talk about this all night long.
Mate, 100%. 100%.
We are coming up to an hour though, and of course, it bears reminding people that, of course, Defects are out on tour at
Oh,
the
yeah,
end of October into November. I do want to make sure people remember this is the Bloodline tour, and it starts in
absolutely.
Glasgow, hitting up Newcastle, Manchester, Leeds, London, Bristol, Oxford, and finishing the 7th of November in Birmingham. October 31st in Manchester, particularly, I'll say it's particularly special just because of the date. Obviously, every date in the
Yeah,
tour is
yeah.
special and important and stuff like that. It's going to be an incredible show, but just because of the Halloween thing, and obviously we've been talking horror here, so I kind of just want to emphasize that one as much as anything
Oh, mate, absolutely. Yeah, I
else.
think it's going to be a special one, though.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. What else? You got any sort of big plans over the rest of this period aside from just preparing for the tour? Is there anything like you particularly want to do over this? Because obviously October, people put too much emphasis on it being Halloween anyway, at
Yeah.
that period. But is there anything that you particularly would like to do or plan to do, maybe?
I think we are going to, yeah, we're going to get this tour done.
Mm.
Take probably the rest of the year off. Get the next record in the works. Yeah, and then come back out swinging probably early March or something. You know, what I mean, take a little bit of time out and
A
reassess
little
the
break.
situation. I guess. Yeah, yeah, but it's not a little break, is it? It's there's
Yeah, I know
always
what you
yeah.
mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll be planning stuff, man.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yeah, the word break is it isn't quite fair or realistic here at all. But hey, you
No,
might get to
absolutely
enjoy
not, man.
Christmas, maybe that kind of thing.
That's going to be fairly nice to yeah. I mean, we'll come back. I think 8th, 9th, be home by the 9th or whatever. So yeah, last year we were back home like the 21st, 22nd. So it was like yeah, we'd been out for a month, came home, and it was like oh, it's Christmas now. So yeah, it'll be nice to have a little bit of a lead up to it this time.
Well, considering that, and originally I said I wasn't going to mention this because it feels wrong to be talking about Christmas in October. But hell, we've gone this far, might as well wrap up on this then. All right, what's a great Christmas horror film?
Oh shit. It's not even Christmas titled, is it? It is. It's when he sucks the candy canes for the eyeballs. What's that?
Eyeballs. Mm.
It was remade not too long ago.
Ah.
Oh man, that's really going to annoy me. That's always my go-to Christmas horror, and I can't even
Oh.
remember the title of it.
Oh wow. What? I'm trying to
It's
think.
basically yeah, it's basically just a serial killer in a house, which is probably 99% of the horror films. You know what? For the sake of time, I'll say Krampus because that was quite a decent one, wasn't it?
Oh yes, yes, that was a fun little one, wasn't it? So,
Black Christmas, Black
of
Christmas.
course, of course, yes. It's had a couple of remakes. You're
There's me
absolutely
saying
right.
it. I've thrown you off the trail by saying it's not got Christmas in the title as well.
I'm thinking, oh, Silent
Idiot.
Night, Deadly Night, and trying to think of everything that was remade. But of course, yeah, Black Christmas had a couple of remakes, and yeah, that's a great shout.
Yeah, that was a solid one. I enjoyed that.
Do you find you tend to watch stuff like that around Christmas, or do you just kind of tend to step away from horror for a little while, watch a few like
Yeah,
more
yeah. You
fanciful
know
stuff?
what? To be fair, that's probably the only time of the year I do actually stop and have a couple of weeks. So it's like you have so much to do and you want to cram so much time in, don't you? So
Yeah.
yeah, if the vibe's right, yeah, bang it on.
Yeah, or just stick with a little bit of Home Alone and stuff like that instead.
Oh mate, yeah, oh mate, jingle all the way,
Um,
man, every day.
oh, for goodness sake. Luke, this has been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. We've gone an hour
Thanks for
now. Thank
having
you
me,
so
man.
much for taking the time to do it.
Hey, thank you, man. Great questions. You got me on a couple of them, man.
Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website where reviews, news and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at GBHBL. Just search for GBHBL and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.